Hello again to video 9 in a series of making moving pictures with your DSLR stills camera. My name is John Keedwell. Hopefully you've been watching all the videos up to now. They have different reasons to be there and you can get a whole picture of how things work. This particular one is about monitoring and eyepieces. Now this particularly strange looking camera on the right, actually, top right, is actually a beautiful camera, to be honest. It's an ARRI 235. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's a beautifully crafted camera for hand holding. As you can see from the shape of it, they've actually made the magazine into the shape instead of having a separate shape for it. Now how the operator sees through the lens is actually, if you look at this here, this is actually not the greatest picture actually, but this is a mirror that rotates, and here is where the film is. So the lens subject is over here, the lens captures the image to the film, and then when the mirror rotates and the film is pulled down to the next frame, this mirror rotates and actually you see the 3D eyepiece, the operator sees it. So as they are watching the film, they know the picture is flickering in front of them and they're actually seeing a flickering image. So they know the camera's running for a start, but they actually see through the lens. Nowadays, of course, it's a virtual electronic image, which is obviously open to potential error. One more thing to notice: that this is sort of what you can see through the eyepiece of a film camera. You actually have a point where the frame, and you actually see outside of the frame. So you'll see if a microphone is coming in before it actually comes into the frame. You see it, so you can see it. With a video camera, you tend to see it as it comes into the frame. By then it's too late. So that's a bit of an issue. Some cameras have that overscanning of the image, but not many I've worked on. So monitoring the image is vitally important. If you're looking at it in bright daylight, it's going to look different on a LCD screen than it is when you're in a dark room. So you're judging the picture of a small LCD screen on the back of the camera, and you see microphones coming into shot, you're checking lighting, the colour, the focus. So it is a bit of an issue trying to see things on the back of a screen. So this is where you need either a screen on the left. This is one particular screen which doubles as a recorder and a screen, and something on the right here which is a sort of Heath Robinson effect thing, but it basically clamps over the LCD screen here and actually magnifies that so you can check for focus. So you kind of need this when you're shooting outside. You need something like this, and ideally if you're shooting outside with a Samurai or other similar recorder, you need some kind of hood that goes over the top of it. If you're in bright sunlight, you won't be able to see that picture. So if you look on the screen here, you've actually got a vector scope and you've got all sorts of waveform monitors and peaking devices here. This tells you the exposure of the camera, and this unit doubles as a recorder and also as a screen to see the video. But setup is critical on these. If you've set the screen up wrong, your whole of your video is shot with the basis of it being underexposed or overexposed or the wrong colour. So you would build a light tent. If you're shooting on a movie, you build a light tent for the director of photography and the director. So there are issues to look at in terms of, with a film camera you're looking down an eyepiece, you're looking through a lens. With a video camera you're always seeing a virtual image electronically. So that's something to consider. Also, dynamic range. Again, this is perhaps getting a bit advanced for you now, but this, if you ever see it's like a sail from a sailing boat, but the green thing here is green, red, and blue. This is what your eye can see with 20/20 vision, and all these triangles here is what various different cameras can output or can record. So you see our CRT monitor is actually pretty poor actually. Film can see more, but nowhere near what your eye can see. And this is the pink one is the F35. This is a a particularly good representation of still nowhere near what your eye can see, but it's pretty good compared to a CRT monitor. Now, capturing the range of colours is always a challenge because your eye sees so many and the camera sees so little in comparison. The camera is actually just trying to see what your eye can see. If you have here, you have a lower bit depth, your black to white ratio, it goes in more like chunks or steps like this. That's about the best way I can explain it. And here, this is what you want it to see. If you go from black to white, it's actually a gradual fall off of light from dark to light. So imagine if that's somebody's face, you get sort of blocks of colour and blocks of shade and light. So TV cameras are very low in dynamic range inherently, but new cameras have S-Log. Now this is probably a bit advanced, but this is what normal cameras can see for film or for television. If you see here, this is what they see, and basically after 100% here, it gets the exposure goes up, and all of a sudden it goes to 100%, and that's it. You've got actually no leeway. So the whites will be white, and after that it'll just go white and white and white. It won't go any whiter. S-Log here basically records the picture in a wide dynamic range, and rolls off towards the top of the exposure. So it actually looks like this. The highlights look like this as opposed to this. So it actually rolls off very much more gradually. Basically, you've got more detail in the highlights here, which is always what you want on a video camera. That's really hard to explain, but if you come to the Epix Academy, I'll explain more. Now, this is how cameras record when they have high dynamic range. Picture one here. Now, this is how things record in high dynamic range. This is a normal picture from a video camera. The highlights are blown out in the background, there's no detail there. The face is exposed correctly probably, but it's probably a bit dark, and the highlights are blown out. So you can't expose both in the shadow and the highlights. The camera won't take it. Basically, when you shoot in high dynamic range, this is picture 2, it looks very flat. There's no black, there's no white, but this is how it's recorded. When you then go into the grade, you can actually recover the detail from the highlights like this, and over here they're all blown out. You can recover the highlight detail, and you can recover the shadow detail here. So this is what it records. So you need to know when you're recording it, the output is like this on the monitor, but you know it'll look like this when you finish. So high dynamic range, your eye doesn't see things how a camera sees it, and ideally you record in high dynamic range or RAW. For more information, go to my Epix Vision Academy and the Epix Academy. The Epix Vision Academy is the membership site, and the Epix Academy is the hands-on lighting and shooting and learning techniques with hands-on experience. And if you want to go and talk to me, my email address is at the bottom of the screen there. That's john@johnkeedwell.co.uk. And I'll see you on next video